The liminal geography of Poltergeist. Most people remember the television. They remember the dead channel, the static, Carol Ann kneeling before the screen, her hands pressed against the glass, and, of course, the announcement that has followed the movie through popular culture ever since. They're here. That image is so powerful that it has simplified our memory of Poltergeist. We tend to remember the television as the portal. We may even remember Carol Ann being pulled through it. But that is not what happens. The television allows contact. The closet takes Carol Ann. The ceiling returns her. The hallway changes its dimensions. The swimming pool exposes the dead. And beneath all of it lies a cemetery that was never truly removed. There is not one portal in Poltergeist. There is an entire supernatural geography. To understand it, we have to stop looking only at the television and begin outside the house with the planned community of Cuesta Verde. Cuesta Verde represents the promise of the modern American suburb. It is new, bright, orderly, and apparently safe. Its streets are arranged. Its lawns are maintained. Its houses look clean and recently constructed. The disorder associated with older cities appears to have been designed out of existence. Even the name contributes to the illusion. Cuesta Verde suggests a green slope, pleasant land made ready for comfortable living. But the development contains a hidden contradiction. The community has been built over a cemetery. The headstones were moved, allowing the surface to be renamed and resold, but the bodies remained beneath the ground. The developer changed the visible meaning of the land without changing what the land physically contained. This gives Cuesta Verde two identities occupying the same location. Above ground, it is a residential community for the living. Below ground, it remains a city of the dead. From the beginning then, the entire development is liminal. It exists between two conditions. It is simultaneously a neighborhood and a burial ground, a fresh beginning and a concealed past. The Freelings do not simply move into a haunted house. They move into a false geography. There are really three maps operating throughout the film. The first is the developer's map: streets, houses, property lines, bedrooms, and swimming pools. It is the official map, the one used to sell the community. The second is the map of the dead: graves, bodies, and sacred ground. It is invisible, but it is older and more truthful. The third is the supernatural map that develops as the film progresses: a network of signals, openings, distorted distances, and routes between worlds. All three maps occupy the same physical space. The horror begins when the older maps refuse to remain buried beneath the newest one. At first, the Freeling house appears ordinary. The family gathers around the television. The children sleep upstairs. The kitchen is used for cooking. The backyard is being prepared for a swimming pool. Every location has an understandable domestic purpose. Then the television stops behaving like an appliance. After the broadcast day ends, the screen fills with static. To an ordinary viewer, static represents absence. No program is being transmitted. There is supposedly nothing to see. But Poltergeist reverses that meaning. Static is not the absence of a signal. It is the presence of something human technology cannot organize into a recognizable image. Carol Ann hears voices inside it. She approaches the screen and begins communicating with what she calls the TV people. The dead are not yet physically visible, but the television makes them perceptible. That makes the television a liminal object, neither entirely window nor wall, neither simple furniture nor open doorway. It separates two spaces while allowing awareness to pass between them. But it is important to be precise. The television is not yet the primary physical entrance into the other world. It functions more like an electronic seance table. It establishes contact. It allows one side to become aware of the other. And once that contact is made, the geography of the house begins to change. Objects move without human assistance. Chairs rearrange themselves. The kitchen floor becomes a path along which unseen forces can move a person. What was once a predictable domestic space becomes receptive to different physical rules. The disturbance then concentrates around Carol Ann's bedroom. This is significant because a child's bedroom should be one of the most protected locations in the house. It is associated with sleep, imagination, and parental safety. In Poltergeist, it becomes the central chamber where the ordinary world opens into something else. Within that room, the closet becomes the principal threshold. Closets are naturally liminal spaces. They belong to a room while remaining enclosed within it. They are familiar but dark, useful but partially hidden. Childhood fear has always understood the closet as a place where the safety of the bedroom becomes uncertain. The film takes that psychological boundary and makes it physical. During the violent storm, the closet produces an impossible force. Toys and furniture are pulled toward it. The small enclosed storage space develops an interior far larger than its visible dimensions. It is no longer simply a closet. It has become an entrance into the realm occupied by the spirits. This is where Carol Ann is taken, not through the television, but through the closet. The distinction matters. The television is the point of communication. The closet is the point of abduction. Once Carol Ann crosses that threshold, the house can no longer be understood through ordinary architecture. Her voice is heard through the television, but she is not physically inside the television set. She exists somewhere outside normal domestic space, while remaining connected to several locations within the house. The family can hear her, yet they cannot reach her by walking from one room to another. Nearness of sound no longer means nearness of body. The investigators eventually discover another distortion in the upstairs hallway. A short passage appears to stretch into an impossible distance. The farther someone attempts to travel through it, the more the architecture refuses to behave like measurable space. This is one of the film's most important geographic moments. The hallway is designed to connect rooms. Its entire purpose is to make domestic space navigable. When the hallway becomes endless, connection becomes separation. The architectural feature meant to help people reach one another now prevents arrival. By this stage, the supernatural force is not merely moving objects inside the house. It is rewriting distance. The rescue of Carol Ann reveals yet another route. Tangina identifies the light associated with the spirits and guides the family's attempt to recover the child. Diane enters through the opening in the bedroom closet, tied to a rope that connects her to the living world. But she and Carol Ann do not return through the same opening. They emerge through the living room ceiling. That means the supernatural geography has both an entrance and an exit, but those points do not correspond in ordinary three-dimensional space. The closet upstairs and the ceiling downstairs are joined through another realm. The house has become a circuit. The television provides communication. The bedroom closet provides entry. The living room ceiling provides return. The rope preserves a physical connection between the traveler and the ordinary world. This is not random haunting activity. It behaves like a transportation system whose routes human beings only partially understand. Even the light is more complicated than it first appears. It seems to represent the destination toward which the spirits should travel. But the presence known as the Beast exploits their confusion. It uses Carol Ann because her living energy attracts the dead and prevents them from completing their passage. The other realm is therefore not presented as one simple location. It contains movement, obstruction, and predation. Some spirits are trying to cross beyond it. Carol Ann is trapped within it. The Beast attempts to control it. The supernatural side possesses geography of its own. After Carol Ann is rescued, the family believes the crisis has ended. This is understandable because they have treated the portal as a local malfunction inside the house. The child has returned, so the opening appears to have been closed. But the final act reveals the larger truth. The house was never the original source of the disturbance. The land was. As the Freelings prepare to leave, the supernatural activity returns with greater force. The beast attacks. The closet attempts to reclaim the children. The house begins losing its final connection to ordinary physical stability. Outside, Diane falls into the unfinished swimming pool. Courses erupt from the wet ground around her. Coffins break through the development's carefully maintained surface. The swimming pool is especially important. It was intended to represent improvement, recreation, and increased property value. It is another feature being added to complete the suburban dream. Instead, its excavation opens the ground and exposes what the development was designed to conceal. The pool becomes an accidental archaeological site. The dead were always present. Construction did not summon them from some distant spiritual world. Construction physically disturbed the place where they had been left. This transforms our understanding of every earlier portal. The television did not introduce death into an otherwise innocent location. The closet did not independently become haunted. The house was built within an unresolved boundary between the living and the dead. The portals inside the house are expressions of the contradiction beneath the neighborhood. By the climax, it is no longer useful to ask which room contains the portal. The entire house is consumed. Walls bend inward. Openings expand. The structure appears to collapse into the supernatural space it has been connected to throughout the film. The haunting has grown in scale. First, it occupies the television, then the kitchen, then the bedroom and closet, then the hallway and ceiling, then the backyard. Finally, the house itself becomes the threshold. But even that is not the complete geography of Poltergeist, because the Freelings house is only one property inside Cuesta Verde. If the development was built over the cemetery, then the contamination is not necessarily confined to their address. Their house may not be uniquely cursed. It may simply be the location where the buried truth first found an opening. The family escapes to a motel and immediately pushes the television outside the room. It is a funny final image, but it also shows that they have learned only part of the lesson. They now distrust the device through which the dead first contacted Carol Ann. But the television was never the whole portal. It was the screen through which the larger geography announced itself. That is what makes Poltergeist such an important modern myth about liminal space. Older stories placed entrances to the other world in caves, forests, rivers, swamps, ruins, and burial grounds. Such places were visibly separate from ordinary domestic life. A traveler usually had to leave the community and approach the forbidden boundary. Poltergeist brings that ancient pattern into the modern American home. The cave becomes the closet. The reflective pool becomes the television screen. The journey into the underworld begins in a child's bedroom, and the ancient burial ground is covered with freshly poured concrete, new houses, and carefully cut lawns. The family does not travel into forbidden territory. Forbidden territory is renamed Cuesta Verde, divided into residential lots, and sold to the family as progress. That may be the film's deepest horror. The developers believe moving the headstones is enough because headstones control what the living can see. But the bodies preserve the land's older meaning. The official map says suburb. The earth says cemetery. And when those two maps can no longer occupy the same space peacefully, the supernatural map opens between them. So, was the television in Poltergeist a portal? Yes, but it was only one part of a much larger system. The television allowed the living and the dead to perceive one another. The closet became the entrance. The ceiling became the exit. The hallway revealed that distance had broken down. The swimming pool uncovered the concealed past. The house became the final opening. And Cuesta Verde itself was the original liminal territory, a community of the living constructed inside the geography of the dead. At the beginning of Poltergeist, the Freelings believe they live above the dead. By the end, they discover that they have been living inside the territory of the dead all along.